Hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of August the 15th, 2025. Cybernetic Empathy, What Makes a Warrior Human, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me is Lee, and he is from Fountain, Colorado. Oh, a little town about 80 miles south of where I live. So how's it going, Lee?
No, not doing too badly.
So you guys get, have you guys gotten any rain lately?
A little bit, not too heavy showers or anything, but got a little bit of water finally.
We got a little bit of sprinkling here. It's pretty dry here in Colorado, in case you guys don't. Oh, there we have from the UK. We have Lottie. How's it going, Lottie?
Hello.
So, as my English mother would say, hello.
Hello, yes, exactly. You all know your English to me. We
so how are things?
No rain here whatsoever. It's just all completely dry.
Golly, yeah, that's
just as the news for an Alita sequel is right now.
Yeah. Well, it can rain all at once or not rain. When we get that sequel, we won't really care, will we? So, how are things going there?
We want it to be raining with Alita sequel news, but unfortunately, all we have is new Alien TV series and a bunch of other bollocks that we do not give a shit about.
Well, I don't know, Lottie. I think that movie she's going to be in with Mark Wahlberg.
Play dirty, a new Shane Black movie. God, it's all so below her. She should have her own franchise led from the front by Rosa Salazar, but unfortunately, the industry betrays itself on its own artistic merit. So we have to deal with all this shit she has to go through before her Alita sequels go ahead.
Yeah, well, I do agree with you. I think I'd love for Rosa to get the Alita sequel and
basically. Sorry, Creek. Hollywood is a joke, and Alita should have been championed at the time that it came out, but unfortunately, it wasn't because of the merger, the Fox merger, and Disney's creative bankruptcy. So now Rosa Salazar has to wait for ages until Cameron can get the sequel. And unfortunately, we are still waiting here in 2025.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I do, but I'm going to watch that Play Dirty. I think that's going to be a good movie because she's in it with, like, say, Mark Wahlberg and Lakeith Stanfield.
Did you see this? Did you see the screenshot that was released today from the movie?
No, I did not. I have not.
You didn't see that yet?
No, but I just got on X about probably 10 minutes ago, so I haven't.
Charlie Schmidt posted about it. How did you not see it?
Because I wasn't on X. I just got on X.
All of the stars are looking intently at a laptop screen about their heist coming up. Because apparently only Rosa Salazar is good for heist movies. They're all staring at the laptop screen, trying to figure out how they can, win this heist. It's all a bunch of bollocks. Unfortunately, we're still waiting for the Alita sequel to get green light. Because Hollywood is run by a bunch of creatively bankrupt Satanists.
Well, I know there's a fellow out there named Jamie Thomas, and he says that he has fan casted Rosa as an Alita Michelle, I guess is how you pronounce that. I probably butchered it, Jamie. You can.
Who is Alita Michelle, Greeky?
Yeah. So anyway, and he says Alita does heavily resemble the main character, so that's pretty cool. Anything Rosa's in, I'm going to watch. There's no doubt about it. Now, I have missed a lot of stuff because Lottie gets on me all the time about not having seen brand new cherry flavor.
Well, come on. So Creaky, you just shut your mouth now. She's not been in that much stuff. Like, it doesn't take that long to watch her.
I don't know.
Brand new cherry flavor it's got quite a few episodes, but it's not that. It's only got one series. Like, you should definitely watch that. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have seen Undone. I've seen both seasons that and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Undone is superb, like masterpiece level. Brand New Cherry Flavor is like a brilliant, like is that a masterpiece as well? I'm not even sure. Maybe
Well,
it is.
I've not seen that, so I don't know. And
like
I know
it's like a cult horror series. Maybe it is masterpiece level. I don't know.
Yeah, and I did see Chariot. I think Chariot was good. You know, I like. I don't like the.
I just didn't like the way
ending.
Chariot ended for Rosa. That was my only criticism for Chariot. It was a really cool show, but it could have ended with a bit of more, it could have built up to more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, Rosa deserved a better ending than what was given to her by Chariot, basically.
Well, I think I do agree with you, but like I say, when Rosa gets work, that's great. You know, I mean, that's
okay, sorry, Cricky, I'm gonna have to shut you up here. Chariot was basically esoteric subversion of like the Hollywood like mind control system where everyone gets like reprogrammed into new personalities, and Rosa is ultimately just part of that, unfortunately. But we really need her to be reprogrammed into the Alita sequels. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do, and in principle, I agree with you. You know, but like I say, anything Rosa's in, I'm going to watch and I'm going to enjoy it. So
yes,
you know,
and in a brand new Cherry Flavor, she was basically just cut off, and she was immediately subtracted into a new personality, and it was just a shame because I don't know. It's just like she deserves to have her own. She basically deserves to have her own franchise.
I agree with that. There's no doubt about it. I do agree with that because Rosa is superb. You know, she is a wonderful actor. I mean, she's just magnificent. You know, but
Hollywood throws so many female actresses into the Moloch fire, the sacrificial fire, that I feel like they should just give Rosa a second chance, because Alita was completely decimated by the Disney merger when they bought Fox and just threw everything away because Bob Iger had all their eggs in one basket, the MCU basket, and Rosa deserved a lot better.
I agree. I do agree with that. You know, but still, I'm going to watch anything.
When does Bob Iger leave, Cricky? When does Bob Iger leave?
Well,
Tell me
okay,
when he leaves.
Lottie.
Tell me when he leaves.
But let me say hello.
Tell me when he leaves.
What was that, Lottie?
Tell me when Bob Iger leaves.
I have no idea.
The problem. He is basically the figurehead of Disney since the merger, which has been all of the problems that Alita has faced. Every single creatively bankrupt problem that Alita has faced has been because of Bob Iger. So he needs to leave before Alita can get her sequels.
Well, I hope you're wrong about that, but
what do you mean you hope I'm wrong for that? Because of that.
Well, I hope he's not that stupid. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I hope he's. I'm hoping that he'll realize that he's got a great IP on his hand.
Iger doesn't have any intelligence whatsoever. He's basically an automaton. He's basically like a mind-controlled slave by the establishment elite, and they had all their eggs thrown in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU basket. They threw it all in that, and Alita was ritually sacrificed for that, as in they cut Alita's throat for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for Captain Marvel to survive, but it's failed, and now all their movies are losing money, and James Cameron is just there being like, what the fuck? Why didn't you give something to Alita? She could have made you money. Now all of your movies are losing money. So, like, what the fuck are they doing? Bob Iger, Steve Asbell, Greenbaum, whatever the fuck his first name is, whatever that guy is. What's the guy's name? Greenbaum? Do you remember his first name?
Yeah, Greenbaum. Yeah,
Greenbaum. Just some other like Zionist entity. We need to just get rid of him, and we need Disney to become under control of more like creatively worthwhile entities. We need to get rid of all of them, and we need Alita to survive the evil entities currently running Disney.
well, as long as the Alita army is around, Alita does survive, because we're going to stay after it.
Creaky. I'm not going anywhere. I will outlive all of them, so they can all fuck off, take their billions, and we will see the Alita sequels survive beyond all of those absolute fucking creatively bankrupt wankers.
Well, don't hold anything back, Bloody. What do you really think? Let me say hello to folks in the chat. Okay, we got Bad Man out there. How's it going, Bad Man? We got AKA Alita the Killing Angel is out there, and of course I mentioned Jamie Thomas a while ago. He's out there. And it looks like there's probably maybe 3 people out there that are incognito, so we won't disturb them. But
Alita Killing Angel. Yes, Hollywood in general produces a lot of crap nowadays. Indeed. There's a new Alien series out on Hulu that is basically partially ripping off Alita. The main character is some like young woman who is like a young girl who gets her consciousness transferred into an adult body, which is kind of similar to Alita in a way.
A synthetic adult body.
A synthetic adult body, indeed, but in a less, Alita is in a less perverse way, because let's not go into it, but Disney is full of a lot of perverse wankers who let's just not go into it. And yeah, Iger is scheduled to leave in 2026, as the bad man says. So I don't expect anything to move forward with the Alita sequels until after Robert Allen Iger leaves, because he is a massive cunt.
Okay, well, all right, Bloody, I've noted. So anyway, let me move on, guys, because I think, Bloody, you're only saying what we're all thinking. So I think that what is
I'm literally Cricky. I'm literally speaking I'm literally speaking objective truth to power.
Well,
we're going to get our sequels eventually, but Iger and co. I really hope that Steve Asbell becomes out being the good guy of this, because he's in charge of 20th Century Studios, and it would be a shame if he didn't put his weight into the Alita sequels. But so far he hasn't. But this is really a message of survival to the survival of Disney as a creative outlet in terms of the creative good of humanity. Disney is the cultural force of Western civilization right now, and if they don't push for the Alita sequel, as far as I'm concerned, they're the enemy of Western civilization, and they will face repercussions if they do not push for the Alita sequels.
Well, I think, Bloody, they already kind of are, because they, most of their movies with in Disney, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine and perhaps one other movie I can't recall, but most of them do not do well. Most of
Honestly,
them do not do well.
You mean Fantastic Four? What was one before that? Thunderbolts, right?
Well, I went and watched Thunderbolts, and I liked
I'm not
it.
going to
It
watch
was,
any of that shit. I'm not going to go to a cinema to watch any of that superhero bollocks. We need new IP that can revitalize the Disney and 20th Century Studios IP for the 21st century. Right now, they're still living in the 20th century, and they need to be living in the 21st century. And Alita Battle Angel is the 21st century, and Steve Aspel needs to understand that Alita Battle Angel was sacrificed by Bob Iger and their soulless executives for the benefit of Captain Marvel and the MCU, which I almost forgot the name of because it's so irrelevant right now, because all their movies are flopping and using money, and they need new IP like Alita Battle Angel to make some money, to diversify their franchise slate. But so far, they just completely ignore it because of their creative bankruptcy. They basically need Alita to survive, and we will make sure they survive, because otherwise they will die.
well, I don't know about that, Blondie, but let's move on, man. We got a topic to get to here, and but I agree with you for the most part, you know. But still, anything roses.
I mean, die in the sense of like a business sense, in terms of their
yeah, I know
stocks
what you
falling and everything, not in terms
Figuratively.
of them like literally dying.
Yeah, I
Although
hear you.
in British politics there was a guy and yesterday who literally found not guilty of I don't know, inciting some kind of hatred, when he said that all of the like right wing people should have their throats slit because they were right wing or something. I don't know. They were found not guilty, but I'm not suggesting that should be the case for Disney
Yes,
executives.
I know that. I know I know you mean figuratively. That's fine. But let's move on, Blotty, and we can chat about this a little bit later. Okay, I just want to remind everybody we got the LA Fires fundraiser going on, and we've raised $1,520. And my estimates about how many houses were damaged was way off. I heard another count yesterday that it was something like 25,000 houses. So I don't know how many, for sure. But
it's Los Angeles, Creaky. It's all the mysterious, like, are we replacing all their houses?
Say again, Blobby?
I don't even know. Like, what are we fundraising for in Los Angeles right now?
Well, many of the houses were damaged or destroyed in the Palisades community, and they're still recovering from it. So, and that's what we're doing here. We're just raising the money here, and any money we get, every dime of this money goes to the Greater Good charity, so which is involved in that recovery. So, and if you remember, Vladi, we did this because we picked the Greater Good charity because they also take care of the pets. So, that's that was a major thing.
Rosa Salazar was very she was in deep with the pets. She was fighting with Bob Odenkirk to find new houses for the pets in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm all in for the pets too, because I mean, like I say, I used to have a dog. You guys remember that, and I'm a dog person, and and any pet I think needs to be protected, because maybe they may not be human, but they're still beings, So
Cricky.
Yeah.
Rose Alita is definitely in for the dogs as well. She was fighting for the dogs to be rehomed. So all your money that goes to Alita Army goes to Rosa Salazar fighting for the dogs to be rehomed.
Yes. Well, anyway, there's a link below the image on the screen there. That link is also down in the description. Just click on it. It'll take you to the website. You can specify your donation to be anonymous if you want. I think Lee did that. You know, my name is up there, obviously, mine and Angelus. And, you know, I don't care if my name's out on the internet or not, you know, and or you can use your handle. Now, Vladi gave some money. It's not up on the list there, but he used his, certainly Vladi99 is not his name. So,
Creaky, what
so
name did you use again?
I'm sorry?
You used your real name, right?
Yeah, you see that second name on the list? That's
Gary
me.
Villeneuve. Okay.
No relation to Denis Villeneuve.
So you can use any name you want.
Or if we are related, it's probably 10th cousin or something like that. Villeneuve is a pretty common name in France, you know, and in Canada. I think it's pretty common.
Is it a common name in France?
Say what?
Is it a common name in France?
Yeah, Villeneuve. Yeah, means new village.
And that's where your name comes from originally.
Yeah.
So you.
Well, I am a Creek Indian, but you know, on my mother's side, on my father's side, I don't want to get into genealogy.
Your father's from France, is he?
Yeah, my father has, and as well as I, you know, we have, you know, ancestral, you know, claims back.
Your
through
father's
France.
European.
No, my father was born here, and his father was born. His father and mother were born here. Now, don't get me in this genealogy, Vladi. You get me going on this now. But in addition to on my father's side having American Indian and European ancestry, on my mother's side is more of a, you know, English, you know, kind of Saxon, you know, kind of ancestry, you know. So yeah, she used to tell us that that we had ancestral claims back to Boadicea, and I said, well, that's not possible because both her daughters were killed before they had daughters, before they had kids. So,
Creaky,
anyway.
I want to make this clear. So your so which side is your family Anglo-Saxon?
My mother's side.
Your mother's side is Anglo-Saxon, and which side is your French?
My father.
Your father's side. And which side is your Native American?
My father.
I thought they were Anglo-Saxon.
No. My mother is Anglo-Saxon.
Your mother's Anglo-Saxon and your father is Native American.
She was born in Kilburn. All right, Vladi, you've derailed me enough here. I'm going to keep going. So if you want to donate,
just keep going.
Yeah. So if you want to donate, no amount's too small. Just click on that link down in the description, and it'll take you to the website, and you can donate. Specify anonymous, or you can put your real name in there if you want, or you can put your internet handle in there. The website doesn't really care. Also, we got the Alita sequel petition in there, and I put some money in there. Oh, I guess, I don't know if it was early this week or late last week, but we've added like 5, I think. So it's, you know, the money I put in there probably hasn't kicked in pretty much, but we did add some signatures. So
when did you put money in?
It's kind of moving. Say what?
When did you put money in?
I'm not sure, but it was either last Friday or last Monday. I'm not sure which. So,
and it's Saturday.
I didn't put a lot in. I put like $200 in it, so it wasn't a lot.
Loads.
Huh?
That's loads. They should be giving us loads of interaction with that.
Oh, I thought you said that $200. No, it's not. $200 is not a lot of money. That's, you know. Anyway, that's
that's a load of money. $200 is fucking mad.
Well, okay, it's a load for some folks, I guess. But anyway, there's the link you see on below the image on the screen there. That link is also down in the description. What you have to do to sign the petition is enter your name and email address, and you can specify that to be anonymous as well. Your name will get added to the petition, and this is another way for us to make Vladi's friend Bob Iger or Bob Iger aware of the fact that the Alita Army wants the sequel, you know. And of course
he knows Creaky, he knows exactly that we're waiting for the Alita sequels. He's literally just punishing us because his masters are a bunch of sadistic reptilian freaks.
Well, I don't know if we had any reptiles in there or not, but you know, maybe. But yeah, we want to keep this thing going. We want to get to you know, immediate. I guess in the short term, we want to get to 180,000, but eventually we want to get to 200,000. So just to make you know, just to make Disney aware that we're still here, you know. And, you know, and if they're following us at all, I mean, certainly, hopefully they've looked at my channel. You know, I've got over 280,000 subs, so that should mean something to them. That should say there's an audience out there, you know, that wants a sequel. Yeah.
200. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't mean to be rude, but 240,000 or whatever Indian subscribers doesn't mean shit.
No, 280,000. It's not a big channel. I agree with that, but it is significant though. So I mean, it's not. You know, when I get to 1 million, then we can start really tooting our horn a little bit, I guess. So
when are you going to get to 1 million?
Oh, we'll get to 1 million. I have all the confidence in the world.
There's how many Indians are there? There's like
I don't know how many Indians, Lottie.
There's 1 billion of Indians.
Well, the Indian population is not that great here in the United States. I think it consists of maybe 2% of the entire American population. But anyway.
Americans are too subverted by like Western media propaganda. You need to just focus on the Indians, Creaky.
No, I don't want to do that, Lottie. That's too small an audience. So,
no.
Are you talking about Indians in Asia, or are you talking about Indians in America, Lottie?
America's got what, 300 million population, right? India's
360 million.
Say what, Lee?
What'd you say, Lee?
I think it's in the neighborhood of 360 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And India's got 1 billion population. You need to get all of them to put pressure on Disney in Burbank, Los Angeles. You need to get them all flying over and just put pressure on Bob Iger in Burbank, Disney, to force them to greenlight the Alita sequels. Creaky, can you get on that?
Well, I would like to do that, yeah.
Get on that shit, man. There are 1 billion Indians that we can...
There's not 1 billion Indians.
There's 1 billion Indians we can like militarily activate to get them to...
Lottie.
Yeah?
There is not 1 billion American Indians. I can tell you that right now.
No, I don't mean American Indians. I mean Indian Indians.
Indian Indians. Yeah, there is 1 billion.
Indian Indians.
Yeah, as AKA says, there's 1.7 billion. So, yeah.
Exactly, 1.7 billion. There's an infinite amount of Indians we can militarily activate to converge on Burbank to force them to greenlight the Alita sequels.
How are you going to get 1.7 billion people to come to the U.S. and go to Los Angeles? I don't think that's going to happen.
We'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way.
Well, anyway, click on this link and sign the petition. That way we can at least folks can see that number continue to go up, and hopefully that will make an impact. And it does. It just helps us keep Disney in the loop, is that there is an Alita army out here that wants to see.
Okay, sure. Quickly. What you need to know is that Disney is run by an executive class of Satanists, and they don't listen to anything but numbers. So we need to get as many people possible signing the Alita sequel petition to get us as close to 200,000 as possible. Maybe when we get to 200,000, we'll get the sequels. But ultimately, it's all on Jim Cameron's shoulders to get that green light.
Well, I hope you're right about that, Bloody. But you know, we're getting there. We're approaching 200,000, so we'll get there eventually.
Well, you think we'll get once we get to 200,000, we'll get the Alita sequel?
At 150,000, I don't know about that. Bad Man says, do they even listen to
No, I think it's all on James Cameron. He's got to just delay the Hiroshima movie.
Well,
he's got to just fucking cancel that. He's got to cancel that and put all his energy towards the Alita sequels.
Well, Vladi, wait a minute. He's still working on Avatars and that Hiroshima movie. So you know,
Avatar 3 is done now, Creaky. Avatar
but
3
4 and 5
are
not done, Vladi. 4 and
5 there's a massive gap that he's working on Hiroshima to finish. And in that gap, he needs to work on the Alita sequels. But if he doesn't, then he's betraying humanity by neglecting the Alita sequels. And in that space, he needs to push forward on Alita 2 and 3 for his own soul to adapt to the future and for him to get into heaven, basically. I don't know, Cookie. Why are you laughing? This is very
because him going into heaven.
To get into heaven by pushing forward on the Alita sequel.
Well, I want him to push forward on the Alita sequels, but he's busy right now. He's not. I know. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We also got Rosa's Queen Studios bus here.
Cricky, before you get on to the the Alita bust that we want to give to Rosa,
yes,
we would have given this to Rosa Salazar years ago if James Cameron. Cricky, do you know James Cameron's middle name?
Okay, Vladi, read the private chat.
Let me see. Sorry.
I want. That's all right.
There's nothing in the private chat, so I'm going to ignore it. Cricky, what is James Cameron's middle name?
I don't know.
Exactly. So James Cameron, he needs to understand that the Alita sequel is much more important than Hiroshima or any other movie he's planning right now. I can't say that in any slower terms. The Alita, the original movie came out in 2019, and it's been 6 years, since that movie came out, and it was one of the best movies Hollywood has ever created. Robert Rodriguez, the director, is responsible for creating that movie. He created anything better than anything Hollywood has ever created in terms of anime adaptations, and he deserves the Alita sequel more than some kind of like Hollywood. Oh my God, the mushroom bombs are so bad, so we have to make a Hiroshima movie. It's much more important to that Alita gets her franchise to continue than Hiroshima. So we absolutely have to get Rosa Salazar to confirm that she's making the Alita sequels and that she's opening this box to open her character, because it was made in such brilliant. It was just a perfect match to her character and everything to do with her. And she has to open it and create it and make the sequels. Go on, Creek Indian.
I agree with you, Vladi. I do agree with you. Let me get through this segment right here. All right, let me get through this. Okay.
Go on. I have plenty more to say, but carry on.
So anyway, we do have Rosa's Queen Studios bust, and you know, we want to give this to her as an expression, as the Alita Army's expression of our appreciation, admiration, and affection. And you know, just a little word or two here about Rosa. You know, I mean, because, you know, there's a kind of performance that goes beyond acting, which she did in Alita, and it becomes embodiment. In other words, Alita isn't just a character. She's a vessel for something ancient and tender. And Rosa, if you hear this, thank you. We do appreciate you a lot. And Lottie, wait a minute. Let me get through this.
Fine, go on.
So anyway, Rosa, you gave us a warrior who fights with her whole heart. You gave us grace wrapped in fury and softness wrapped in steel, and we loved it. We see the choices you made, the micro expressions, the vulnerability, the fire. We see the soul that you lent Alita. We love that. And whether you're watching from the wings or just passing through, or you see this stream in the future, know this: your work didn't just entertain us, it moved us. And you can tell by the passion that it moved us. Let me get through this, Vladi. And it gave us a language for our redemption. That's legacy. That's ours. Rosa, that is you.
Yes, Craigie. Rosa Salazar, we know you're worth much more than the Hollywood establishment is giving you. We know that you're worth much more than a fucking Shane. Is it Shane Black? Is that his name? Shane Black? I was just suddenly escaped my memory. Yeah, you're worth much more than a fucking Shane Black one and done movie, which is going to be some bullshit heist movie. You're worth an entire franchise that Hollywood fucking sabotaged because they're so fucking creatively coward that they don't even know what they have with Alita. They've got fucking James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez making an insanely good first movie to build an entire franchise, and they just fucking let it drop because they had all their eggs in the basket of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the fucking satanic bullshit. And they had a completely fresh franchise with a Latina star. I know how they love their, like, what's the word? Like non-white star. They hate white people, but Rosa Salazar is not a white person. So they had a whole franchise starring a Latino star, Rosa Salazar, and they just fucking threw it away because they had some like blonde hair, blue-eyed, what's her name? Brie Larson bullshit star, and they just threw away the Alita franchise because of that. It's fucking disgusting, and Hollywood owes a fucking debt to the rest of the world for what they've done to Alita Battle Angel.
I do agree with you, Vladi, but let's move on, okay? Let's do this. So Rosa, if you're watching this, know this, that we want to get you this bust, and we want you to know the Alita Army loves you, and that you mean the world to us. And we,
Rosa, Rosa,
yeah,
we want you to have your bust. You are Alita Battle Angel, and you deserve to be the star of a franchise that dominates over every other franchise. And we just love you so much, and you deserve so much better than Disney and fucking James Cameron have given you.
Well, I am confident we're going to get a sequel, but you know, that's something we're not going to solve here, I guess, except to say that, just express that we do want a sequel, and we are passionate about it. You know, and Rosa's our queen, and we want her to succeed.
I mean, what else is there to champion for Hollywood? There are no other franchises that are like new and fresh and that deserve the support that like the Alita Army gave to Alita. Alita was like starred by a new up and coming Latina franchise. We all championed it as best we could, but because Hollywood is so fucking racist and completely devoid of creative value, they buried it in all their like MCU bollocks and all the shit that's like flopping every week that comes out. Fantastic Four is just losing money, and everything that they put out is just losing money. We need new franchises to basically, for the good of the creative wealth of Western culture, and Alita was that. But they decided to sabotage it in favor of Captain fucking Marvel. And it's absolutely fucking disgusting. And I hope that eventually we can move past it and understand what mistakes were made by the corporate media and the whole entire entertainment business in burying Alita when Alita was the cure for all of Robert Allen Eager's mistakes. Go on, Cricky.
Okay, so anyway, Rosa, if you do see this, know that we love you and we want you to get that sequel and we want you to succeed. Now I'm going to move on to the Alita Gaming Network. This is I'm not sure how many people we got on the network now. I haven't checked it in a couple of weeks, but at the last I checked, it was it's still pretty small because we're not really pushing this. I think the folks on the network kind of like it small because it's a little more intimate that way. But if you do live streaming, you can put the link to your live stream, you know, in the network. I know. I think I put the link for this. I think I put the link for this stream in the network this time, and I know Maxie puts the Radio Chaos link in there. Chaos Nova puts the links for when he does live streams. Now he doesn't do as many as we do, but he still does live streams, and he'll put his live stream link in there, so you can check that out. If you do fan fiction, whether it's a short or maybe you've really got a really involved novel, type thing like Lee has or like Maxie has, you can put that in the fan fiction channel. I know there's a limit to how much you can put in there as terms of upload, and if that's the case, I think you can just put the link in there and then people could go to wherever you've got your fanfic stored. If you do artwork or you do videos, you can put that in the user creations channel. If you do stuff that's not Alita related or maybe very loosely Alita related, then you can put that in the off-topic channel. And we got 3 voice channels that you can get on and just chat with other people in the network. It's kind of like a Zoom call or a Microsoft Teams call if you want to use that. But you can do that. I think Lottie and Smendrick for a while they were in the gaming channel a lot. Smendrick is a little under the weather, so he's
I need to
trying to get himself
again. I might play a bit more before the stream tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, and I did get a message from him, and he's trying to get a really large I guess monitor so he can see a little better, So
yeah, he's running on he's got 5 13-inch monitors. It's kind of weird. He needs to just get some bigger monitors so he can play games and stuff.
Has he got 5 monitors? Holy moly!
He's got loads of tiny monitors. I don't know why he doesn't just buy some smaller monitors.
Yeah. So anyway, but I know you can just get in there and start chatting with everybody on the voice channel. We got 3 channels. You can go to any one of the 3 of them. You can pick one. If 1 or 2 of them are occupied, then you can jump to the other one and invite people, and you can, they can join you, and you can just talk about anything in there. We also have watch party channels, and now I haven't done a watch party in a while. I think Lottie did one here not too long ago, but I do watch parties from time to time, but I've been pretty busy here the last month or so, a couple of months.
Should we do another one on Monday? Can we schedule one in? I'll be up for that.
Maybe, but I have to teach a class on Monday, so I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. So this is what I'm talking about being busy. I'm pretty, my time is pretty much taken a lot, you know, so because I know I've been promising Lee I've tried to get through chapter 25 and I've been on it for 2 weeks and I can't get through it. Yeah.
Creaky. How are we going to destroy the Disney corporate system if you're busy?
Well, I'm not the only person in the elite army, Vladi. So, and I don't want to destroy Disney. I just want them to come to their senses. You know, that's all. So, but if you
obviously not going to come to their senses, Creaky, we have to destroy them.
No, we don't need to destroy them, Vladi. But anyway,
well,
if you
give me some proof that we don't need to destroy them.
Say again, Vladi.
Give me some proof that we don't need to destroy them. Because have they not just been neglecting Alita at every turn?
I don't want to give you proof, Lottie. So, but anyway, let me get through this, Lottie.
And every single Disney executive that has so far neglected Alita.
Well, if I don't know, Lottie, but if you want to do a watch party, you can. You don't need my permission. Matu and I kind of watch the network, but we don't. You know, we don't really restrict anybody. I mean, you're pretty free to do anything you want. I mean, short of maybe putting porn or something like that on there, but we've never had any trouble with that. So, you know, it's yeah, the Elite Army is pretty respectful.
Elite Army is so well behaved. We've done everything right. At some point, we've posted. We just want an Alita sequel. That's all we want. That's what Alita deserves with the quality of the movie and. The fandom have been so well behaved. We deserve an Alita sequel. If we don't get it, at some point we're gonna crack at some point, and we're gonna have to just, I don't know, destroy Disney's leadership. How can we overcome that?
I don't know, Lottie. I'm doing everything I can. I mean, I'm doing 3 videos a week and 2 streams.
I know. Yeah,
we started.
You're doing everything you can. I understand that.
Well, I know we also have an Alita Army company that we plan things from here and there, which Lottie also participates in that, and so does Lee from time to time. So you know, matter of fact, we need to have another meet.
I've donated as much as I can, but at some point, Disney has to fucking donate for their own shit. Alita belongs to the Disney corporate IP, and they have to put in to whatever keeps the IP alive. And so far, all they've done is completely sideline the IP and try to bury it. So the fans are going to have to rise up and destroy the people who are running Disney IP.
No, we don't need to do that.
Well, they've not done anything to keep the IP alive. All they've done is shout at people. Steve Asphalt, basically, all he's done is shout at people who have said, like, why aren't you doing anything with the Alita IP? That's all he's done so far. So I don't see why Alita fans shouldn't respond in kind and treat him as an enemy of themselves.
Well, I mean, certainly you're free to do that on social media, but in terms of destroying people, I don't want to do that. So, you know.
Well, obviously not destroying literally. I mean, in terms of like shouting at them on social media.
Well, that, you know, I don't want to destroy
like all they want to do is just make more fucking alien content. Do we need more alien series? Like, do we really need more alien IP? Haven't we had enough of Alien? Haven't we had enough of Predators? Hadn't we have enough of the fucking apes on Earth? Like, I don't give a shit if there are apes existing on Earth that have decimated humanity. I don't give a fuck if there are aliens that appear on Earth before humanity have found out. We know that Disney is run by a bunch of reptilian freaks that we have to destroy, but ultimately all we want is good artistic output for the betterment of humanity. And that is Alita. And if Steve Aspel wants to stand on the wrong side of humanity by continuing to neglect the Alita IP and just promote Alien, Predator, and all that bullshit, then as far as I'm concerned, they are enemies of humanity who should be treated as such.
Well, I don't want to destroy anybody, Vladi, but let me get through this, okay? Now, if you want to join the Alita Gaming, if you want to join the Alita Gaming Network, there's the link that's under our little chibi Alita mascot. You have to have a Discord username, but that doesn't. If you get the basic, you can get a basic username for nothing. It doesn't cost you anything, and it certainly doesn't cost you anything to join the network. I mean, none of us in the Alita Army make any money on this. I mean, and even my channel, I don't make money on my channel. For me, it's a work of love, is what it is. Yes.
Discord is completely free for everyone except the ones who are hosting the server. So we love Alita so much that we're like promoting the Alita Gaming Network and the Alita official in inverted commas server out of our own pocket, and we just want to keep the Alita IP going to eventually get the Alita sequels going, to promote the Alita IP, get the sequels going, get some like anime series going or something. But so far we have absolutely nothing from Disney, so it's hard not to see anything else but from hostility from Steve Aspel and Robert Eager towards the Alita fandom. And eventually we're going to have to rise up against them to reclaim the Alita IP from these soulless, perhaps reptilian, non-humanity entities, and get some quality creative content from them. Carry on, Creaky.
Well, that's going to cost money if you want to buy the IP, that's for sure.
Well, that's the problem.
But that is the problem.
Creaky, if we wait long enough, basically humanity won't have enough money left. We've got these non-human entities interacting with humanity that eventually all the like Anunnaki, they're going to run out of gold to try and like sell us with, and we're going to just buy everything from them. So eventually we'll fucking get our sequels, and we'll make sure that the reptilian scum that have held us back, i.e. Robert Eager and the Disney like gold merchants, will get our sequels, whether it's from them or not. But ideally, we'd like to just get our sequels ASAP so we can get our fucking sequels moving before the end of the fucking 24th century or whatever we're in now. I don't even know what we're in now.
Well, you know, if I had the money, I would make an offer for the Alita IP, but I don't have that kind of money. So you know,
does Jim Cameron not have the IP? What is Alita
Jim Cameron? I don't know about the ownership of it. I know Cameron owns maybe the creative rights to it, but Disney, I think, owns the distribution rights. So that's where
you need to understand that Alita are not making sequels because of Alita would make a significant profit if the sequels are greenlit. They're not making a sequel for political reasons. They don't want humanity's culture to progress for political reasons. They want us to just like sit in a pit of cultural despair of like endless Alien, Predator, and all the IP shit over and over and over again. They want us to languish in that because they want us in a psychological state where we cannot move forward, where we're just stuck in the same old thing over and over again. If we had Alita sequels, our story would progress. We'd feel some kind of like Alita basically stands up against Zala, the like untouchable elite. But because we can't get the sequels, the people who are controlling Disney, i.e. the financial elites who are controlling Disney since the merger, they don't want the sequels to happen because it would like promote the they would promote like revolution basically against the like people who just buy everything and they just have all the money that they can ever financially want.
Well, we can start buying stock,
I
mean? I guess. But yes, I do get what you mean, but yeah,
well, my throat is giving out right now.
Well, I mean, we could buy stock, I guess, in Disney. That would be a way to get ownership of the company, but you'd have to buy a lot of stock for that. So I think don't know how many hundreds of millions of shares outstanding. That would be pretty tough. But anyway, so let me get back to this. Vladdy, let me get back to this, okay? I just want to tell people, if you want to join the Alita Gaming Network, click on that link. It's down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything. We'd love to have you, and you can post your content in there, and you can talk to other Elite Army members that are on the network, and we have a lot of fun with this. Okay. Okay. Anything else before we move on to the main topic?
Freaky, you know I have so much more to say beyond the main topic.
Say, Vladdy, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, I think. What did you say?
I have so much more to say beyond the main topic. What is the main topic anyway?
The main topic is this. We're gonna talk about Alita, that in terms of it's kind of like a dichotomy, where you have a cyborg or somebody who's 98% machine, but and she is a warrior for sure. As a matter of fact, if you remember from the movie, she's the most advanced cyborg weapon ever created. But she does have that human side to her that seems to, how would you say, be more prevalent than you might think that a machine like a robot or something. She's not a robot, but she does have an emotional intelligence to her. She is very human in that regard. Even though she is in a cybernetic body, she is still, in my opinion, even when she was in the Imaginos body during Last Order, she is still human because she has that human, I guess, basis to her. Her self-awareness, her intelligence, just her personality. And of course, she has been shaped certainly by trauma. Losing Hugo is an example. And even if you've read the Mars Chronicles, she is shaped there by losing her family, basically, and going through a lot of shit, on Mars, that made her who she is. And then getting into the military. Now, the manga is a little different than the movie. The manga is more, it's more of a, I guess, whereas the movie talks about the United Republics of Mars, and it's all being the united group, and they are that military unit, all those republics are united against Earth. It's not that way in the manga. The manga is like everybody's fighting each other. And they're trying to jockey for position to try who's going to be in control of Mars. And you got people. Yeah, go ahead.
Cameron has a big chance to organize the manga into a much more cohesive narrative. But so far he hasn't, because he's neglected it. So all we have to go on is the manga narrative.
Well, the movie is just a very small part of it for sure, and it doesn't follow the manga exactly. It does follow the spirit of the manga. It does do that. But yeah, you're right, Vladdy. There's God, how many volumes of it? Is 38 volumes, I guess, counting Mars Chronicles, and yeah.
They could have gone anywhere from the original movie, but because of Hollywood's ethos of total creative bankruptcy, they've just completely abandoned the original movie.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but yeah, I think they followed the manga fairly well. I mean,
well, we won't know
exactly
until they push forward on the sequel, but so far, because of their creative bankruptcy, they haven't.
Well, well, that remains to be seen, I guess. You know, when we do get the sequel, all they will have to go on is the manga, because you know, they use a lot of the anime too. So the anime is a very small part as well. So
I know,
you know,
but all they've got, Cameron so far, he's adapted first 2 or 3 movie books from the original manga, and he's got more to go from, but so far he's done absolutely nothing, and now he's moving on to making propaganda for the globalist elite and their nuclear bomb propaganda.
Well, you know, I'm still very confident we're going to get our sequel. I'm very confident of it. So, and we'll leave it at that, I guess.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's up to Cameron in terms of where he wants to be in history. If he wants to just be an establishment stooge, or if he wants to be an actual contributor to the cultural movement of humanity. And so far, he's abandoned Alita, and he's basically just doing whatever the fuck Disney and the establishment wants him to do.
Well, you know, I know he does some of these documentaries from time to time. Like he did that one documentary on that deep sea, what do they call those things? Those you know, whatever those containers are, those units that they drop down to that very deep depths. He does that kind of stuff, you know. Another thing to keep in mind too is that look how long it took them to do a sequel for Avatar. I mean, you know, the original Avatar came out in 2009, and it was 2022 before the sequel came out. So, you know, he has a track record of, you know, a long time between sequels when he does one, you know. So
yes, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next Avatar movie, but ultimately that's just about the story of the Sully family and some made-up world where there's Awa, which is like a metaphysical comparison to the spirituality of humanity and its connection to Mother Earth. But yeah, that's cool and everything. But Alita, it's so much more important because of its connection to humanity and technology,
yes,
which will always be timeless in terms of the story related to humanity. So Cameron needs to get back to that, and he needs to forget all this other like propaganda shit lib that he's currently going on with Avatar and Hiroshima.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Vladi, let's concentrate on the topic right now. Okay. We can come back to the, you know, what we want to say about Disney later. Okay. I want to concentrate on
I'm just a meaningless fan that's trying to steer Cameron in the right direction, while obviously the financiers that are running Disney are trying to push him in a certain way in terms of Hiroshima and endless Avatar sequels.
Well, what's it going to be? 5, I guess. But let's stay on topic here, Vladi. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, that Alita's been her whole being has been shaped by trauma, by tragedy. She lost Hugo.
Yes.
You know,
this is why Alita's story is so relatable to every human who goes through humanity, because we all relate to this trauma, and we basically all have PTSD. We're all fucked up in one way or another. We've all been fucked up by society, all our family, all the like corporate system that dominates all of us. So we just have to survive it. Carry on, Craigie.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, she, you know, she has been shaped by trauma. She has been shaped by, you know, bad things happening to her, and in all of that, she has still maintained, or she still has a presence about her that is still goodness, I guess. Now, Alita's not always good, you know. I mean, certainly she's not a, it's not a binary good and evil type thing. I mean, she goes through periods like we saw in the manga where she, you know, she's based almost psychotic, you know, in some cases, you know, and she gets, in the last order, she gets a little bit arrogant a couple of times, you know, but overall her humanity, she retains that, you know, and she only, I think if you was to meet her, even though she's a cyborg, and you met her, your impression of her would be that she's a good person. Now, Lee wrote a fanfic about someone who just saw her on TV, you know, competing, and got the impression that she was not. Is that right, Lee? I mean, you want to speak to that just a little bit?
Basically, I mean, it's somebody who entered into a world that has a lot of rather dark elements to it.
Yeah.
Lack of compassion, people basically turning a blind eye to the wrongdoings going on around them, that kind of thing.
Well,
And seeing only one side of her kind of got, you know, a specific idea of what kind of person she is, because they didn't see the entire picture, as it were.
yeah. So yeah, and she lives in a really brutal dystopian world, and even in those conditions, she is still basically a good person. You know, even though she lives in that really, you know, really contentious. It's like Lee was saying, people would, you know, particularly the cyborgs, they're like bullies on steroids. You know, I mean, they will attack you and take your money, you know, or do anything just because they want to. You know, a
And they
lot of
got the power to
times.
do so. It's kind of like
Yeah,
that one line from the movie. It's like the strong prey on the weak. If people
yeah.
have the power to do something and they can get away with doing it, they will probably do so because they can.
Well, there's no
Yep.
police force. So.
Yeah. I mean, as
like
long
there's
as
no
they don't
police
break
force.
one of the factory's laws and end up
Yeah.
with a bounty marker on them, then they're pretty
God,
much free to do whatever they want.
It's so
Yeah.
similar to how our corporate reality exists.
Say again, Vladdy?
You can just destroy any IP you want unless it falls within the like rules of, I don't know. You can just destroy Alita and it's absolutely fine.
Well, we don't want to do that, certainly, but yeah, we want Alita to keep going. So I think, you know, with Alita, though, I think she's, you know, given the fact that her very early childhood was awful. You know, I mean, she was witness to, remember those little girls? I guess we did a manga reading on this some time ago, and
Well,
it
there
was
was
like
a number of them. There was the orphanage. There was when she and Erica were being forced to cross that minefield. So yeah, there was a whole lot of rather brutal elements to that.
Well, all those little girls were killed. You know, every single one of them except.
Well, that was the orphanage, right?
Yeah, that was the orphanage.
Yeah, that's basically what I was referring to. They had that. I guess it was a team of soldiers trying to go in and do some kind of.
They were doing a false flag.
That's what it was. Yeah, I wanted to say it was a false flag. I wasn't entirely certain though. But yeah, they would come in, basically caused a whole lot of death and destruction. And I think Erica and Alita were the only two that survived out of that orphanage.
Yeah. But that would make a mark on you right there. I mean, that would have a psychological effect on you for sure.
I would say everything that she's been through was leaving a psychological mark on her.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of that was really dark stuff there.
Yeah, and I think anything that happened on Mars and her as a kid, it had the potential for leaving psychological marks on her all over the place. So, and that last bullet there speaks to her as a person, not a cyborg, as a person. You know, she has empathy no matter how bad the conditions are where she lives, she still retains that care for others, particularly for friends and family. Now, the one thing she will do is if you attack her friends and family, she is going to go sideways on your ass in a heartbeat, you know, and she certainly will. And she has the power to do it, you know, but she's, you know, we saw that when, how she cared for that little dog, you know, I mean, that, you know, that was, that just shows just how well, you know, just how good a person she is. What is this, AKA? What do you got? Yeah, that's right. Even though, yeah, that's exactly right. Even though you don't have all the information you need, you know, or that you want, you still have to act on what you think is right. And it seems like with her that most of the time she does that. You know, I mean, there's side stories where she shot that deckman and stuff like that. You know, but even when she in the, I guess in the manga where she had a fight with Figure 4. You know, she kind of enjoyed that, and it was like she was having fun with it. Even though Figure 4 was trying to kick her ass, he wasn't coming close to doing that. You know, so she, you know, she just basically, you know, even though he was enraged, I guess, because, you know, he didn't like girls that liked war or something like that.
I think he was basically trying to knock her down a peg or two.
Yeah, that's right. He was trying to. That's right. He was trying to put her in her place, and that ain't happening.
Not really, no.
So,
we have no information. We don't know what she wanted because we have nothing.
Yeah. So now having set the stage there and built that foundation. Now, I'm not talking about her strength or her fighting ability here or anything, but how does Alita compare with like Zapan, the likes of Zapan and Gruishka? You know, what makes her different? You know, what do you think, Lee?
Well, I think it's like that last, was mentioned, that last bullet point back there, empathy, compassion, her ability to basically form connections with people. People like Zapan, he even stated basically bounty hunter is a lone wolf, and he was a big believer in, like, you know, being self-sufficient to the point of isolating yourself from others, basically.
Yeah, I think even with Zapan, even when she cut his face off, there was that brief instant where she had a look on her face where she felt kind of sorry for him. You know, I mean, at least that's the way I interpreted it. It was almost like a pity. You know, she pitied him, you know, sort of, you know, so she was expressing empathy there. Now, Gruishka is a little different. I don't think she expressed any empathy for him.
Well,
maybe she did. And I missed it.
If you go with Makaku in the manga,
yes,
she did have a little bit, at least, for for some reason. I didn't quite gather or get exactly what was going on there, but she did seem to have some sympathy for him. I guess maybe because of everything he went through that sort of turned him into what he was or something. But yeah, with Gruishka, I don't think she had a great deal of sympathy for him. He was just a brutish killer that went around preying on people who couldn't fight back.
Yeah. Well, it was murder. Him and he and Romo and Nisiano were killing people.
Yeah.
You know, for body parts. I mean, Jesus, you know, that's pretty awful. Welcome, Chaos Nova from Pennsylvania.
Thanks. Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah, northeast of Philly, right?
Yeah.
Or northeast or northwest?
I believe it's northeast. It's Valley Forge is pretty close, so yeah, that area.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to catch up with you when I was there for the Bench Press Nationals. You know, because I was in Valley Forge. You know, and we could have maybe had a beer, but you know, I couldn't have done it the day before, obviously. But I got kind of caught up there too.
Well, it's okay. I was doing my own things too.
Yeah. I actually, I actually didn't get in until 1:30 in the morning, the day of the competition, which luckily my lifting was not until the afternoon, so I got a good night's sleep still. But then when I went to the airport, they canceled my flight, and I had to stay in Philly one more day, you know. So, and I didn't know that until 11 o'clock at night. So anyway, it was kind of a rough 3 days right there. You know, so anyway,
I was going to my nephew's birthday, so I wasn't really in Pennsylvania that weekend.
Well, you know, I'll probably get back to Philadelphia some other time. We can catch up for a beer or something. You know, who knows? You know. So anyway, Chaos, what you got going? You got anything coming up? You can put in the private chat, I guess.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I did a live stream. I mean, if you didn't catch it, you could watch it anytime with Battle Angel Alita music. I'll find it.
Okay. Yeah, if you put the link in the private chat, I'll put it in the public chat, and you know, we can, and you can certainly post it in the gaming network as well. So.
Yeah, I can do that.
So anyway, Chaos, what do you think sets, I know you're coming late to the party here, but what do you think sets Alita apart from Zapan or Gorwishka in terms of her personality and her emotional intelligence and empathy and that sort of stuff?
I'd say she just doesn't have the grudge or vendetta that these guys have quite yet. The reason why they would be willing to do all sorts of things without a care in the world about collateral damage, because they really hate somebody at this point. Zapan always never was against Alita and Hugo, and it didn't matter to him that he did the actual murder on the spot. So his hatred progressed to a point where he didn't mind that he was doing some of the actual crimes right there. I mean, part of the times you see people get killed by the jacket was one, Kanuba, but Vector did that with the blowtorch, and the other one was Zapan, who cut the guy's head off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had no compunction about that either. He didn't have remorse or nothing, did he? I don't think you'd see that with Alita.
At least not yet.
Yeah.
I do think it could be a point, you know, because in the manga, before Zapan comes back, before that whole big crisis point, Alita, in her own way, certainly hates Zapan too. So they could play with that as a plot point. I mean, revenge is one of the biggest flaws a character can have. That's what I'll say.
Well, I think too with Alita, you know, like Zapan, he actually framed Hugo, didn't he? I mean,
yep.
You know, he killed Demetrius Polito's character.
Yeah. Well, he also killed Tanji too, who didn't have a marker on him at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was already illegal to jack cyborgs, but he didn't mind killing the guy just so Hugo would take the blame for it.
That's the thing. There doesn't seem to be any bounty markers issued for jacking cyborgs, though, in the movie at least. So I was always a little confused about that. I mean, apparently it's frowned on, but I guess the factory never really made it like strictly against the law, as long as you don't live with like a factory.
As far as the materials I've gotten from the movies are concerned, it's considered way worse if the person actually dies for being jacked. But if they don't, then you're essentially just stealing from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, murder is the typically the only crime that the factory will
really cares about. Yeah.
I'm just saying, unless it results in death, it's not really. But if it does result in death, it's similar to armed robbery. If an armed robbery results in death, you're pretty much charged with murder for that.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't in death, the penalty is far less. So that's my analogy right here to it. Is that it's comparable to armed robbery, because in the past people have been charged with murder if the armed robbery results in death. If it doesn't, then it's less. It's a lesser charge.
I don't think you'd see Alita framing anybody either, like he did. Like, well, he killed Tanji, even though Tanji, like you say, Tanji was not breaking any laws, and he killed him anyway. Of course, Tanji was attacking him, but
Alita never framed anyone. She only ever tried to stop people from committing crimes.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, she.
This
yeah,
is
well, in the
literally
manga.
what this is literally what happened in the Disney merger. She tried to stop people framing her for vicious crimes that inevitably that ended up destroying her franchise.
Well, I don't think you'd see Alita killing an unarmed. Well, Tanji wasn't unarmed. I mean, he had whatever it was. He had that club or whatever that thing was. But
he was also coming to Hugo's defense too.
Yeah, he was coming to Hugo's defense, and neither he or Hugo had a marker out on him. So Zapan was,
Zapan was breaking the law.
Yeah, he was. But it's kind of like Hugo said, what are you going to do? You're going to believe me, or you're going to believe Hunter Warrior? That's kind of was his take when they were in the church. So
yeah.
Alita saved her from the enforcers of Disney.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, at least Alita does show compassion. We talked about that a while ago. Now, here we see her with Ito, and she, Ito's really not her father, but I guess she eventually accepts him as her father figure. And she loves Ito, in the manga as well. Now they had a falling out in the manga, but they ended up, she ended up, they reconciled to a degree or whatever. But, she was actually distraught, by not, not being in close contact with Ito and stuff like that, so in terms of sparing enemies, I think it depends on the enemy. She
it might also depend on what they're engaged in as well, what activity they're engaged in.
Christoph is going to be so old. He's like, what is he, 70 now? He's going to be so old by the time Disney eventually greenlights the sequel. It's just so bad for the cultural progress of humanity. I feel like we need to rise up against Disney and just fucking destroy them in somehow.
Well, I think Christoph Waltz could still, even though he's, let's see, what is he? He's 69, I think. Is that what it is?
He's getting up to his 70s, definitely. I think he was over 70 now, is he not?
I think so. I think he's 16. I think he's 69, but he might be 70.
He wants to get back into Dr. Edo, but he may be getting too old at this point. And at the end of the day, it's going to be all Bob Iger and Steve Asbell's direct fault if they're too old to create the sequels. So they're going to have to face a lot of criticism and a lot of cultural pushback for him being too old to face the sequel. They should be ready. Well,
they could do some of that de-aging.
I'm ready. If they ever come to London, I'm going to give them a lot of shit for fucking up the Alita sequel.
Well, that's kind of like AKA would say, let's we save that passion for when we come face to face with these guys. Absolutely,
Steve Asbell and Robert Eager need to know that there are like real people who are waiting for the sequels to these movies that they've held back because of their creative cowardice, and they should know that we are not fucking happy about it, and we are pissed off, and we will fucking give them hell if we ever come in contact with them.
Well, let's save it for that day, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of Alita showing compassion or mercy, though, if you're after her, if you're trying to harm her family or friends, she will. I would hate to be the person that tried to say harm Ito.
Her family.
I mean, she would.
People who bought her. That's like fucking slavery bullshit.
Well, we're in a tough time right now.
Oh. So anyway, we lost him. Anyway, in terms of her protecting her family, that is something she would definitely do. I don't see Zapan or Gerwishka having that same kind of mindset. Love of family and friends. That, of course, in the movie and even in the manga, we don't know if they had family or not because it doesn't.
Well,
doesn't
I could see Zapan possibly having some because he does show a great deal of affection for Sarah. So he definitely has a capacity to have that kind of love of, you know, friends or family.
Well, yeah, and he did, you know, he did fall in love with Sarah, didn't he? I mean, he was.
As to whether or not he did when he was still a bounty hunter is kind of up in the air because we don't get a whole lot of backstory on him. But I mean, there was that comment that was made that he helped out with rebuilding the Kansas bar in the manga.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
but I don't see
have a
him
whole lot
having
of compassion or anything like that beyond maybe like little gestures here and there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe for Zapan. I don't get that feeling from Garushka at all.
Oh, Garushka, I don't think had any compassion or mercy to give at all.
No.
I mean, he could have had more if they developed the script a bit more.
Perhaps. Protecting the weak, yeah, I think Alita definitely. I think that's her to a T right there. You know, that little dog meant a lot to her, I guess, in the movie. You know, so I guess that's so. You know, and I think even with when she went to Zalem, you know, in the Last Order, there was kids, you know, were there. I think she had feelings for them as well. You know. Even though she was more of an android there, she wasn't a cyborg. But
is Cameron just expecting us to wait till she's just to write her off as some generic android and we just forget about her?
That'd be kind of neat to see Rosa playing as an android.
No, it wouldn't, Creaky. No, it would not at all. We need to get her in. She needs to be an icon for humanity in the face of like android dehumanization. She should have been the symbol of humanity against all of that. But because of the merger and everything that happened in the 2020s, she unfortunately was left by the wayside.
Well, I do think Alita is the embodiment of humanity myself. You know, I think she's, even though she is a cyborg in the movie and an android in Last Order, I think she is very human. You know, I think
that's the thing. You say even though she's a cyborg, I would argue that being a cyborg isn't much different than being like a
yeah, I guess that's right.
Like a wounded veteran who's had a arm or a leg replaced. You don't.
Well, it's like Hugo. It's like Hugo said. You know, you're the most human person I've ever met. I mean,
she's not a fucking android. As far as I'm concerned, she's as human as anyone else. And everything that happens in the manga that we're relating in terms of.
Well, I was talking about.
She should.
I was talking about the Last Order, Lottie. She is technically.
I haven't read that.
Yeah, that's.
And I hope that Cameron rejects that and makes his own story of Alita that keeps her as human as possible.
It makes her an android. Yeah, I think. I mean, makes her a cyborg, not an android, a cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, he's sat on this Hiroshima movie, which is going to make everyone just dies from the fucking nuclear bomb, and it's like, we have to be scared of the nuclear bomb now. So yeah, it's unfortunate. He's just got to be proper. He's just got to be a propaganda tool for the elite. Well done, Jimmy Cameron.
Well, we'll get to him eventually in terms of the Alita sequel. I'm confident of that.
Fucking better. Why would he want to have his legacy be just a propaganda tool for the elite? We all know that the elite dominate over the masses. Why would he want to be this establishment figure that creates propaganda for them? That
I don't think he is.
That he's got to be this figure that makes all of this bomb propaganda for them. Oh no, we can't. We've got to make sure that we're all terrified, so we don't want to be victims of another nuclear bomb, so we better make sure we do everything we can to hide from it. Why does he want to be that in terms of his cultural legacy? He should be doing everything he can to be as independent as possible. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what Alita is. She's her own independent human being. She's not some kind of like offshoot of a nuclear bomb that is like, oh no, you better like kowtow to the establishment or we'll launch a nuclear bomb on Iran or Russia or like the like victims of Israel. It's just like, it just makes me so sick when James Cameron could be being such a good force for humanity. He's stuck in this like quagmire of like just creating propaganda for the elite, and it's fucking disgusting. And I hope he realizes that humanity realizes what he's doing.
Lottie, let's get back to Alita.
Fine.
That's all right. You know, Badman says that Alita is technically not an android in last order. She has a brain biochip. I'm not aware of that chip having any organic qualities to it. Badman, does she? I mean, because if it doesn't, if that chip is strictly a CPU, as they would say, you know, then she would be an android. I mean, because she wouldn't have any organic parts. Now, if it's kind of a mesh between organic and, you know, and machine, or like say some kind of combination of how would you say, carbon and silicon, I guess is the best way I could put it. Maybe then I would agree with you, you know, if that was the case. Even if
nobody's going to drop a nuclear bomb, Cricky. Nobody is ever going to drop a nuclear bomb. Trump is meeting with Putin and Zelensky now. Nobody is ever going to drop a nuclear bomb. It's just a bunch of propaganda, and I hate that. I hate so much that Cameron is just like accepting himself as part of it. He should just be separate from it. It just winds me up so much.
I hear you, Vladdy, but let's stay with the topic here, okay? I mean, I hear you, I do. What is this? Badman calls a brain biochip. Okay, all right, Badman, I will relent. If there is some organic qualities to that biochip, then I will relent. Maybe even if it's only 0.1%. But I maintain though that her humanity transcends whether she's a cyborg or an android, whichever way you want to put it. Because
that's the point of Alita. That's the entire point of Alita. Her humanity transcends everything. She's more powerful than a nuclear bomb. She's more powerful than any kind of weapon you could launch on humanity. Her humanity is the point. Her her openness, her heart, everything transcends like the evil that tries to transcend humanity. She is above all of it, but it will never be, because our humanity is dominated by a bunch of like Satanist freaks who want to destroy us all. It just winds me up to tears, and I can't believe that we're just allowing it to happen.
Well, there's not much we're going to do about it on this stream, Bloody. So let's get back to the topic here, I guess. Anyway, AKA says I guess he's insinuating that Alita has human experiences. That's what makes her human, I guess. It's not just the fact that she is, you know, that a major part of her is machine, you know, in terms of physical. I
just absolutely hate that James Cameron is going along with it. He's allowing this propaganda to be the focal point of his, like, what's the word? Like, when everything that you make is to do with that. He's allowing that to be the focal point. Like, this, like, I admit this, the nuclear bomb is obviously terrible. When it went off in Hiroshima and what's the other place? Nagasaki. It was obviously terrible and one of the worst things that's happened to humanity. But do we really need to relive it? Like, all of the trauma that happened to humanity, we need to move past it, move forward, move toward our like future cybernetic bodies that will survive that. We don't need to just we don't need to just survive it. We need to move forward. And Alita, with her berserker body, it would survive it easily. We just need to forget about it. Forget about all the evil that was done in World War. No, Creaky.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. We need to forget all the evil that was done in World War II. What, Creaky?
Just calm down, man. Calm down.
Oh, I just can't calm down with that. We're at the crux of humanity's apex. We need to forget everything evil that was happened on behalf of humanity and move past it. We do not need to go over again all the evils that was happened in World War II. We need to move beyond it and just try to create a beneficial society for everyone. We don't need James Cameron to create a recreation of it that recreates everything that happened in World War II with a nuclear bomb. We need to just fucking forget about it.
Okay, Vladi, noted. Okay, noted. And I think everybody on the panel here agrees, that what happened there, with the nuclear weapon is horrible. But I want to concentrate on the topic. Okay. Now, just one other thing. Chaos just dropped this into the chat. So if you want to check it out, click on that. And got
Ricky, I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see you.
We need to just forget everything that happened in World War II because everything was fucking bullshit, and we need to just move on and just pretend like none of that ever fucking happened, and just I don't know, we just can't go over it again. Yes, the nuclear bombers were terrible, and yes, we got this technology from the fucking Nazis. We don't need to fucking go over it again. But obviously, the establishment wants James Cameron to create this prestige movie to be like some big Oscars winner instead of the Alita sequels, which is what humanity really needs. But instead, they want James Cameron to go through this oh my God, the nuclear bombs were so terrible and so many Japanese people died. Yes, but the Western Hollywood establishment, they don't even care about the Japanese. So, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, let's just forget about it. Lots of fucking death happened. Let's move on.
Let's move on, Vladi. Exactly.
But we're not. We're not. James Cameron's going to make a whole fucking movie about it.
Vladi,
and he's going to make how one person survived, and then he went to Nagasaki, and he survived the next one, and that's supposed to be some oh my God, it's he survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh my
Vladi,
God!
Let's stop the rant. Stop.
The skeletons were still warmed up from the original nuclear bomb, and now he's got a new one. And oh my God, we better not launch another nuclear bomb. So we better all now come together as a new fucking world order because it's all fucking propaganda for the global establishment, Creaky.
All right, Vladi, I agree with you, but let's move on. I don't want to keep ranting about this.
Oh my God.
I want to stick with the topic. Let's move on.
What's the topic? The
topic is about Alita, her cybernetic empathy, and what makes her a warrior and what makes her human.
Yes.
That's what. So let's move on. Let's stop the rant. Okay, now we can get back to this. Now, how do we define humanity in the age of artificial intelligence and augmented humans? So, what do you think, Lee?
I'm back.
I see Vladi Lee was about to talk.
Sorry, Troy Lee, go ahead.
I kind of got derailed there. I lost my train of thought.
I derailed everyone, sorry.
Okay, what do you think, Chaos? How would you define humanity in the age of artificial intelligence and augmentation? Because I know you've done some videos on some of this.
He may be occupied.
Yeah, he might be.
I mean,
Well,
it's like we're entering a new era of like total AI domination, and it's fucking crazy because like you can ask AI for anything and it will just tell you whatever you want. And I use it all the time. I'm as guilty as everyone else. I just AI for everything that I want, and it will just tell me. So,
well,
like,
how do you then, Vladi? How do you define humanity though? When we have like today, like we got AI, and we do have some augmented humans today, or at least they have prosthetics.
This is why Alita is so valuable, because she's so like she's so human. All her reactions, all her micro expressions are from Rosa Salazar, but obviously Bob Iger is just completely incapable of understanding what the importance of that is, because he's not human at all. He's basically a robot, so he doesn't understand the importance of the humanity of Alita. But we're entering a new age of AI where you can just ask them anything and they'll tell you. But it's not the same as having a human tell you. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't even know. What was your question?
How would you define humanity? What makes Alita human in her? She's in an age where they have super advanced AI and super advanced augmentation.
Tricky.
Okay. How would, yeah.
Alita, okay, I'm just thinking of this now, so give me a second to think through it. Alita is essentially a story that we all follow through. It's a 2-hour movie that we connect with on an emotional level. She comes alive, not knowing what the fuck is going on, but she connects with everything that's happening in her fucked up world. And that's kind of like us. That's one reason why we connected with her so intently, because we don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, we're in a world where it's dominated by some like weird fucking satanic elite who like sacrifice children and stuff. Like, we don't fucking know what the fuck is even happening right now. And all of our civil liberties are being like moved, are being like destroyed. Like, we don't fucking know. We're born into this world.
Let's stick to the topic. Stick to the topic.
What was the topic?
What makes Alita human in her where she is now, where she has super advanced AI and has many other augmented cyborgs, humans, whatever. What makes her?
She sees that the world is so like unjust. She's born into this world and everything is just completely unjust. She just has to find a way to fight back, and she finds her way through Motorball, because that's her way to getting to Zarlem, which is the like symbolism of the like elite class. So she tries to fight her way through Zarlem and to connect to the elite world via Hugo and Vector and all that, to get to the like upper echelons, to try and reach Nova and Zarlem. That's why I connected so deeply with her, because she wants to fight back against this evil that dominates our world, but she just can't. All she has is the like world that we're connected with, the human world that she's only connected with on a like physical level, but on a spiritual level, it's just completely above her. And it's just so hard to get. I don't know. That's just why it's just so like above us. I don't even know how to explain it. Can anyone else fill in for it?
Well, Lee, now, Vladi? I don't know if you know this. Your camera's on. I don't know if you know that. So,
but anyway, Lee, can you see me ranting? I'll turn it off. There you go.
Okay, Lee. What makes Alita human in your mind, in her environment? You know, where she's in. It was like Vladi was saying. She woke up. You know, she doesn't know what's going on, and she wakes up into this world that has advanced AI and a lot of other augmented or other cyborgs. So what makes her more human than them? What's your take on that?
I was thinking about that. It seems like a rather complicated subject. I guess most basically her willingness to show vulnerability, her willingness to connect with others.
Yeah.
Not giving in to well, the kind of mindset that somebody like Zapan has. Zapan had that mindset that was very mercenary, very sort of a lone wolf, the strong prey on the weak. He had the power, other people didn't. So he would do whatever he wanted with it.
Yeah, so I think Zapan, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically just keeping her own sort of sense of compassion, kindness, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with Zapan too, I think in the novelization anyway, he comes across as a very narcissistic person. And I think he even comes across that way in the movie as well, you know.
Yeah.
But not to the detail that that Pat Cadigan, wrote about in the novelization. You know, that while he was chasing Hugo, he stopped to have his cheekbones raised a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
That could also speak a bit to the kind of environment that he grew up in. He grew up in an environment where the only person you can really count on, more than likely, unless you've got a very strong familial connections of some sort, is yourself. So you need more strength. You need to be able to not show weakness. That was, I think, one of the bigger things is anything that might allow somebody else to take advantage of you was considered a weakness. So like if you show kindness and somebody basically betrays you by taking the opportunity to turn that kindness against you, that would be seen as a weakness. So all of that had to be cut away.
Yeah, that'd be something wouldn't want to show in Iron City, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you would have all kind of folks, not just cyborgs. You'd probably have regular people probably trying to take advantage of you for that.
Yeah. So you eventually learn to sort of harden up, as it were. You stop showing any sort of softness, any kind of anything that might be considered weakness, basically. And she's not afraid to keep all of that.
Yeah.
At least to some degree, anyway.
And with her, mistaking her kindness or compassion for weakness, that is a big mistake right there.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. Chaos, are you back with us yet? Or are you still, kids still got you going or what?
Yeah, he's probably so busy.
Yeah.
I mean, what has Disney done for Alita? Absolutely fuck nothing.
Well, let me ask this question of not just the panel, but the folks in the chat particularly. What is your definition of humanity?
It's doing good. It's being a good person. It's like having a heart. It's having creative work. It's creating art. It's not just creating profit for your investors. It seems to be all Disney in the 20th century Fox executives care about right now.
AKA says an interesting topic for a future live stream. How does Kishiro feel about Alita and her human nature? Wow,
that's the thing. Alita is like pure mechanical, but because she has such a heart, she speaks to the core of humanity in terms of her heart and everything that like brings it together.
Yes.
Oh, it's just such a shame. Alita had such great franchise material, and Alita and Disney have just thrown it all away. And I can just never forgive James. I can never forgive James Cameron for it. I'll be honest. I can never forgive James Cameron for just letting her just rot. And I can never forgive Steve Aspel and what's the name of the main guy? Freaky.
I don't know.
You know the name guy. Don't be such a pussy. Tell me who the name guy is.
Don't call me that. I could probably bench press you.
You could be the shit out
of
me.
Bob, are you talking about Bob Iger?
Yes, Bobby. I forgot his name.
Okay.
He needs to be fucking dealt with. He needs to be kicked fucking out. He's gone in 2026, right?
Let's get off of that, okay?
He needs to be fucking gone, and he needs to be gone in fucking disgrace for what he's done to Disney and Western culture. He has set us back by a fucking decade, and he needs to know that we think he's a piece of fucking shit.
All right, Bloody. Let's get off of that, okay? I want to stick with this. Okay, Lee. What's your definition of humanity, Lee?
I'll be honest, I've never really even thought about a specific definition of humanity.
I guess you could do something like, say, being human, right?
Basically, it's like if somebody seemed to be human, it was just kind of, it's like one of those things is like, you just can tell. If they don't seem human, they don't seem human. But
exactly,
a specific definition isn't something that I was ever really thought of too terribly.
Humanity. She's just herself. Yeah. She's just Yukito Kishiro. She's just like, she's not like some like political figure who has a cutoff line. She knows what's right and wrong, and at the end of the day, she'll fucking fuck you up if you cross that line. And when you cross it, she and her fans will fuck you up.
Agreed. AKA says it's love, love of self, love of family, country, love for what's right. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
He wouldn't fucking stand for the globalists like trying to scare everyone with like nuclear bomb globalist porn.
All right, Bloody, I want to get off of this. Let's get off of that.
You're all gonna fucking die from a nuclear bomb.
Bloody, let's get off of that.
Being used by the globalist elite to try and like scare us all into being into submission. I think it's fucking disgusting.
Yes, it is, Bloody, but stop. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Stop. Okay. Now, if your body was entirely synthetic, now Alita's not entirely synthetic for sure. Her brain, she has a human brain for sure, so that she's 98% machine, but her brain, is human. So, but let me ask you this question, Lee: if your body was entirely synthetic, and I think you could speak to this with some, I guess, expertise, since you wrote about a character that was completely organic and then now is not completely organic. So what would you
bits of them are getting replaced as time goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another tough question.
What was the question? Sorry.
If your body was entirely synthetic, what part would you, let me get Lee to answer first, and I'll go to you, Claudia. Okay.
I don't think any specific physical part of you would necessarily have to remain organic. I think the you is more your memories, your emotions, your experiences, that kind of thing. Yeah. For me, humanity is more, or a sense of humanity, I guess, is not really something you can physically define.
AKA says your will.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Well, what about you, Vladi? If your body was entirely synthetic, what part would you still consider you?
My brain. Everything is to do with the brain.
Yes, I
kind of agree with that. Your thought comes to being. That's how your morals come to being. That's how everything comes to being. You can never replace that. I don't care what the technocracy thinks they can create. The human brain is superior. And ultimately, you can just never create the superiority of the human brain.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, for one thing, I mean, there's some talk in science about one day we might be able to upload your consciousness to a machine. I don't know about that.
It's never going to happen.
Well, I wouldn't say never, because Bill Gates used to say all you need is 640 kilobytes of RAM, which turned out to be wrong.
There's too much there's thought and there's sub thought. Everything happens within that specific intelligence. Your brain is something specific to you. You can never replace that. If you upload it to a consciousness, it's not going to have the same kind of there are so many levels to it. It's never going to be the same.
I agree. I think the brain, I would say the mind, because it's kind of a combination, the psychological and the physical, but the brain is where all this happens.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult because at the end of the day, everything that you think could be coalesced into one data stream, but it's all still one thought. So I don't think it could be minimized into one data stream. It's so difficult. It's a really fascinating subject, obviously, but I don't think that you could replicate it with a machine.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, well, anybody out in the chat, I think AKA is put his 2 bits in. He thinks it's your spirit, which of course that your brain is, your spirit's in your brain, I guess. He also said it's love. It's what makes you human, I guess. So anybody else in the chat that wants to.
That's very interesting. The Killing Angel, yeah, very interesting thoughts. What makes you get out of bed in the morning? That's your will, that's spirit, and your humanity, in my opinion. Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to take each day at a time to try and just get through this human existence and try and learn as much as we can from our humanity. There's so much to learn. At the end of the day, we're all together, and I feel we're all as one spirit, and we're all fighting for the Alita sequel. So let's come together and fight together and get those Alita sequels from this absolute scum that run Disney.
All right, yeah, I'll let you know if I do another music stream or whatnot. All right.
Okay, sounds good. You have to go, Chaos.
Almost, yeah. That
okay.
and
well, we're pretty much done anyway, I think, because we've been going for 2 hours.
I'm ready for tomorrow's stream, Creaky.
Now, just a couple of things I want to add here. I don't know if you guys know who Alan Watts is. He was a famous philosopher back in the
I know him
20th century. Yeah, I love Alan Watts.
Is he still alive, Creaky?
No, he died back in 71 or 73, somewhere back in that area. Yeah, he was one of your countrymen, Vladi. He was English.
I know. I like listening to him. I thought he was American.
No, he's English. Yeah, very, very English. As a matter of fact, one of the things that he did a show on PBS, which is a kind of the public broadcasting group here in the U.S. called A Conversation with Myself. You can look this up on YouTube, A Conversation with Myself. And it is a really, really good synopsis of some, of philosophy, about, about humans, about ego, I mean, what is ego, that kind of thing. So, one of the things that, that we can apply some of his philosophy to Alita would be that
we need more ego.
Well, I don't think he knew Bob Iger, but anyway.
This is the thing.
But anyway,
we need more people with ego to stand up against Disney and all their egos that are running the show.
Well, I wouldn't mind having more people like Alan Watts, that's for sure. But anyway, in terms of the illusion of separateness, just as Alita was seen as other. You remember when Hugo? I always say this when this scene shows up, when Hugo lifts her up, after she saves that little dog from the Centurion. He said, "Ooh, you're heavy," and then I always say, "Well, you dumbass," like that. But then he says, "Oh, you're a cyborg." That's an example right there of the other. What I guess the prevailing thought there in Iron City was he was the
Killing
other.
Angel just speaks the ultimate truth. Love for self, love for family, love for country, love for what's right. Just basically love is the ultimate truth that keeps us going every day, and that's what we have to fight for.
Well,
and that's why Alita is so important, because we have to fight to improve our culture, and our love for it is just what matters.
Yes. Well, just as Alita is seen as the other because of her cybernetic body, Alan Watts would remind us that identity is not confined to form. The boundaries that we draw, us humans, between human and machine, or self and other, are purely conceptual. They're not existential. So in other words, it's kind of like all in our brain, you know. So if you see somebody that's different from you, you know, okay, maybe they look different from you, but they're still human. They are still very much like you, you know. What does this AKA says here? Way she looks up at him and lifts her other moment. I fell in love. Yes, yes, that's right. Well, I fell in love with Alita.
This is why we all fell in love with her. She's so like pure and innocent, but we know the world is like the opposites of that, and that's why she was such a pure figure for all of us. It's just a pure character, but obviously the elite that runs Disney and the like military industrial complex can't have her being a like central figure to humanity. They had to destroy her.
Well, I fell in love with actually what you would say fall in love. I mean, she's a fictitious character, obviously, but I fell in love with her. Why do you say that? Because she is a fictitious character. Now, Rose is not, you know, Rose is not, but as a character, is what I'm saying. You know, I mean,
well, we know that she's a story from the beginning. So what's the point of even saying
she is? But I fell in love with her when she rammed her hand in Grishka's eye and, you know, fuck your mercy kind of thing. That showed me tremendous determination. You know, that's when I really connected with her, you know.
Her last feat of strength is to shove her final limb into the eye of evil. It's so symbolic, and that's one reason why I love her so much as well.
Now she started hooking me when she first opened her eyes, in the bed, you know, when she first woke up. I thought, oh wow, that's pretty, you know. That's kind of what I thought, you know. But I really connected with her when she did that, you know, fuck your mercy thing, you know. And in terms of dance of opposites, what that means is that Alita embodies both destruction and compassion. And what I mean by that, Watts often spoke of life as a dance between opposites, like yin and yang, you know. So I mean, if Angelus was here, he would be able to talk about it too. But, you know, chaos and order, you know,
I know,
good and evil, you know. Her empathy is not a contradiction to her warrior nature. It's a complement to it. So in other words, she had this side to her that was a very, you know, a killing machine, basically, but she had this tremendous empathy, you know. So I think that embodies that pretty much.
She would sacrifice like her very being for the goodness in the world.
Yes. And in terms of the mirror,
would shove her final limb into the eye of evil for what's right. And that's ultimately what society needs. And that's why Disney doesn't support her, because they're basically an anathema to that. They are the evil that dominates society that Alita would stand up to. Bob Iger's Disney.
I mean, I'm considering showing Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and that is more of the tone that you see in the manga. I mean, Vampire Hunter D is pretty dark itself. So,
well, in terms of the mirror of consciousness, basically what that is, you know, Alita is on a journey. You know, Alan Watts would say, "You are the universe experiencing itself." In other words, all of us human beings are made of atoms. Let me finish this, Bonnie. Let me finish.
Go on, Craig. It's very important. Go on.
All of us humans, you know, are made up of atoms that were created in stars thousands of light years ago and millions and even billions of years ago, you know.
Yeah. So you need to understand that no matter how depressed you are or whatever the fuck you're going through, you need to understand that you are the universe, experience itself. So fucking appreciate everything you're fucking seeing and understand that you have to stand up to the evil that is happening in the world right now. Because that's all the universe has got. You are it. So fucking stand up for everything evil that's happening right now. Go on, Creaky.
Yeah. Well, in that, well, that's true, you know, and in that sense, you know, Alita's awakening, and you know, with us too, you know, when we emerged, you know, when our consciousness emerged, it's a reminder that even in synthetic shells, like Alita, even though her brain is organic, she is still, you know, in a synthetic body. You know, first in the, of course, in the doll body, then the berserker body, then the motorball body in the movie.
She could live forever in a synthetic body, but she's still human.
Yes, she is very human. And of course, you know, being even in that synthetic shell, the spark of awareness not only reigns in her, but it's sacred. You know, so
she'll fucking judge you. Everything that you do as a Disney executive will be judged by Alita, and we will make sure that you are judged. Steve Asbell, Robert Eager, and everyone else who is in charge of Disney, we are fucking watching you, and we are the consciousness that Alita follows, and we will make sure that all of your evil is judged upon.
Well, we're certainly going to keep fighting for the sequel. That's for sure, you know, and yeah, yeah, but I will say, you know, you guys have heard me.
The presence of evil, does she, Creaky?
Yes, but I would say
Disney is used by so much evil in terms of the like intelligentsia, in terms of the like military-industrial complex. Disney is used by so much evil, and Alita is watching you and her fucking army, Steve Asbell and Robert Eager. We are fucking watching you.
Well, I'm not only watching them, but I'm also doing what I can to support Alita and Rosa, you know, to make sure, you know, I do everything I can in my power. You know, I don't have a lot of control over stuff like this, but I can do what I can do, and so can all of us, you know.
Yeah, we don't have much control, to be fair, but at the end of the day, we're watching, and we can see her glowing eye, and we know what is happening.
Yeah.
We know the evil that is done in the establishment, and we know that Alita is a powerful part of that, and we are keeping an eye on her, and we're keeping an eye on all the evil done on her behalf. So don't fuck it up, Steve Asbell. Don't fuck it up, Robert Eager, Disney. We are fucking watching you, and we know exactly what the fuck is happening. So don't fucking do evil on her behalf. Alita Army is a force for good. So don't fucking use her for evil.
I appreciate the kudos there, AKA, but I think of all of us as a team. I don't see myself as anything special in this. You know, I think we all want this, you know, and we all have to work together with it. So anyway, that's about all I got on this, guys. So, you know, did we miss any?
Well, one thing, I'll have a community post on YouTube about like what movie should we watch for Chaos's birthday. So,
okay,
that'll be up there.
Chaos, when's your birthday?
February 2nd, Groundhog Day.
All right, a little while away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, be on the lookout for Chaos's live stream. When are you doing this, Chaos?
I'm going to do it again next Friday. I did it Thursday because of things going on Friday, but next week it'll be Friday. It won't necessarily be Gun of Mushroom Memory, but it will be something.
Okay, so you're gonna do it somewhat before this stream then, because I'd like to join. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, did we miss anything?
Nothing occurs to me.
What about you, Chaos?
No, not too much. I think it's pretty good.
Lottie, keep it brief. Did we miss anything?
Creaky, there's so much we missed. Honestly, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll just move on for now.
All right. Well, as you can see from that center panel there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek. That's because he wants a sequel just like she does and like we all do. Now, tomorrow on Radio Chaos, we're going to talk about, if you were going to be in the manga, let's say you want to put yourself in the manga, who would you want to be? I already got something in my mind, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow, So, in other words, you're going to be a character in the manga. Who do you want to be? So, that's going to be kind of a neat subject, I think. I don't know who's the host on that, but I'll certainly be managing the stream. So,
are you not the host, Cricky?
No, I'm not the host on this. No.
No.
I've hosted 2 Radio Chaoses. That's all I've done. Out of 279, I've only hosted 2 of them, and that one of them was because Maxie couldn't do it, and Angelus was at work, I think, or something like that. And there was another one where I can't recall who it was. We did a Christmas in July thing a couple of years ago, and I can't recall who that was that I hosted that. But anyway, it was. Join us tomorrow. We're going to have a good time. So
yeah, everyone clearly from the chat, everyone appreciates your efforts. So thanks, Greg.
Okay.
And you should be more like you keep us all going. So thank you so much, Greg.
Well, you're certainly welcome. But like I say, I don't consider myself special.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
So anyway, here is our queen, and of course, she is #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor, because she is freaking magnificent. I'll tell you, she knocked mine and Charlie's heads off when we saw her at the Pasadena Playhouse. I mean,
I'd love to see her smile in person, Creaky. I'm so jealous.
Oh yeah, well, she was really nice to Charlie and I too, So she's an all-around good person, I think, and just really engaging and loves her fans. And, we had a great time talking to her. But anyway, that said, we all love our queen. We think she's number 1.
It's such a shame that she doesn't have clarity on the sequels. Because, she could be attending conventions and stuff. If the sequels weren't going to happen, Cameron should let her know. Then she could say, oh, the sequels, they're not going to happen, but still, I obviously want to get loads of autographs and stuff like that. But she can't do that because Cameron's leaving her in the air. So at the end of the day, Cameron's silence is really affecting Rosa and her career and her money-making potential. So I really hope Cameron sort something out in the future to make some clarity for all the Alita fans and all the Rosa Salazar fans out there, because it's really not fair what he's doing to Rosa Salazar right now.
Yeah, Rosa's great, and as AKA says, we are so lucky that she played Alita. I mean, she's just superb. And
I care a lot more about James Cameron than Rosa Salazar.
Well, I think a lot of Rosa Salazar, so I think she's great. But anyway, let me get through this. I also want to give a shout out to El Lamont and Jesse Fisher because they brought Screwhead to life. And what I want to see is Screwhead and Alita team up in the sequel to take on Joshigan, So as El said, maybe Screwhead realizes that, she was conned or she was taken advantage of and she's pissed off about the whole thing. And now she's going to go to Alita and say, okay, girl, let's just burn it all down. I think is what she said. Something like that.
She deserves to slap James Cameron in the fucking face.
Oh, I don't think she'll do that. But I did hear from Elle on Instagram here about 2 weeks ago, and she still wants to be in the Alita sequel. That's for sure.
Obviously, they all want to be in the Alita sequels, but James Cameron is just gonna make establishment propaganda, it seems, for now.
Well, anyway, hopefully that we'll get all 3 of these in there. And Jesse, I want to say something about Jesse. Jesse's, as Elle put it, Jesse's the most badass stunt woman she ever worked with. So that's
they're all
high
so
praise
pretty.
right there, So we want all 3 of these in there. They need to be in the sequel, and we need to they want to make sure they get in there the best they can. So we support all three of them, you know.
Yeah, and like, I don't give a fuck how many of us are supporting her. As long as there's a few of us supporting her, that's the main thing. We've just got to be here to support her and just like make sure they're all coming back for the Alita sequels.
Yes.
So don't fucking go anywhere, everyone in chat.
But anyway, if you want to join us, you know, for the Stomp Tish after party, here's the link. You just click on it. I put it in the chat. You can come on with us. We don't stream this, so there won't be people on YouTube watching you or anything like that. You're just going to be talking to us, you know. And you know, I'll keep it open for a while, you know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, whatever, something like that. Lee and I usually stay on for a while, you know, and maybe Vladdy will. Of course,
I can come on and radicalize you all.
But there's the link. Click on it. I'll bring you in, you know, and even if you click on it now if you want, but you know, we'll bring you in. But you know, it was certainly, you know, this is a good way for you to dip your toes into, you know, getting on to something like this, even though we don't stream the after party. Nobody knows it's happening.
Tired
so.
now.
Okay, so anyway, we are the Alita Army, and of course, you know, we basically, you know, we support Alita and Rosa passionately and positively, you know, and that's our whole thing, that we want to keep Alita current, and we are the Alita Army, and we are here to stay. So anyway, I want to thank everybody that kind of joined us today. You know, that you know, we enjoy doing these streams, and they are a lot of fun, and you know, we just you know, just doing our bit, you know, trying to get that sequel and trying to keep the ball moving and keeping Alita current. Now that said, that only leaves one thing left to do after I do this. Why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it, and to paraphrase Gruwishka, I am only here for our girl, our queen, and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl and our queen. So that only leaves one thing left to do, and that is the call to action. That would be on my count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
Baby, please.
And we will catch you next week on the Alita live stream, and we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.